Yeah, what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's your boy Soto, Autumn Windbags, Little Juan on one time. Welcome, damn it, welcome. It's been a really good weekend, man. I've had a couple of good weekends in a row. A lot of family stuff the last few weekends, and you know, even before COVID, like I would hang out with my family, like my extended family, but not really. It had to have been like, a pretty big deal. Just so happens there's a lot of big deals happening. A couple weddings, couple milestone birthdays. My cousin Joe, his soon to be stepson, graduated high school, which was yesterday. So the party was yesterday, I should say. And man, lot of fun stuff happening in the soda life. And a lot of not so fun stuff. And we'll get to that in a second. Um, First, I want to start off by saying make sure everybody like, comment, subscribe over in that little corner over there, that little notification button. Click that shit. That way, whenever the Windbags post a new video, whether RJ and I go live, right away. Save it for later. You don't have to worry about scrolling through your stuff and looking for it. So yeah, make sure you do that. Help us help a couple of your homies out. Uh, let's see here. Jesse, Raiders all day, baby. All day, and all the night. Dominique, what's up? What's up? Keegan Jones, phone work this time. He's back. He's back. Stop getting those phones from the swap meet, bro. Those phones, they may say Verizon, but it's a Metro PCS business. All right, so if any of you guys want to fast forward a couple of minutes, now's the time to do it. Because I'm going to give you a Soto health update. So if you guys have been listening consistently, you'll know that I've been having a little bit of a health issue lately, a little bit of a stomach issue. It's been like a month now. So I went to the doctor finally on Friday. And man, my doctor is pretty chill. I've had my doctor for a long time. And he's a younger guy. He's probably my age, maybe a year older, maybe a year younger, but he's my age. And he's super chill. He always cracks jokes, but he's real dry. And so we were talking about it, and I'm just like, Doc, man, I don't know, like it doesn't hurt, but every time I go, it's like I have diarrhea since Easter's, And he's like, I'm not too worried about it. It's not consistent. It's like, sometimes yes, sometimes no. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So he's like, well, in the medical community, we're not going to be super like, first off, what's going on with my fucking camera? Jesus. He said, in the medical community, first off, we're not super concerned about like a month. Like you have to have like stomach issues for like 3 months. And I'm like, homie, I am not going to be sitting around with these stomach issues for 3 fucking months until you guys take this serious. And he's like, all right, we're gonna do some tests, do some blood work, get some tests run, see what's going on. He's like, I think it might be that he said IBS or some other bullshit. I'm like, look, man, I just want it so I can eat a steak again because I can't eat red meat anymore. Like red meat kills me. I can eat chicken, I can eat fish, I can eat shrimp. That's fine. I can even eat spicy stuff, no problem. As soon as I eat red meat, done. Because I was chill the early part of this week. Then I had like maybe an ounce, like a little piece of steak, just to see how my body would react. Nope, not good. And he's like, well, there's not really anything we can do per se to let you eat red meat normally again. And I'm like, Doc, I said this to him legit. I said, Doc, you guys can reattach a severed dick and you can't make it so I can eat a goddamn steak. Help me out. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna try to help you out. Run blood tests. So I'm sitting in there, and the person who's gonna take my blood is the same person who's working at the front desk. And I'm like, wait a second. Are you like, can you know what you're doing? He goes, yeah, I used to do this, I used to be a full-time phlebotomist, whatever. And I'm like, how long ago? This lovely young lady, we'll say young, it took her like, I don't know how many times to find that freaking vein in my arm. And I'm like, dude, I got decent veins. Like you can see them. And she's sticking the needle in and like digging around. I'm like, can you just not do that back and forth while the needle is in my arm, please? Can you just kind of like, you know? And then she took a shit ton of blood, like a lot of blood. And I don't normally get lightheaded, but since I've had this stomach issue, I'm already a little bit depleted. I'm already a little dehydrated. I'm starting to get a little woozy. And I'm like, you guys got a sugar cookie or a fucking orange juice or something? Like, I'm getting a little funky over here. Anyway, okay, fine. I said, okay, take these paperwork to this lab down the street and they'll give you this kit. And I'm like, cool. So I wait for myself to kind of like feel okay. And I hit up to 7-Eleven on the way to the place and I got a little pack of grandma's cookies and some orange juice, help myself out. Go to the lab. I'm in the lab and they're like, okay, you're going to be collecting samples. And I'm like, oh, great. I know what it's going to be already. I don't want to do it. But they're like, okay, here. I don't know if anyone's ever had to do this before, but basically they give you like a plastic see-through kind of cowboy hat. And you have to like shit into like a cowboy hat, basically. It's not fun. And then they give me like 11 little things to like, you got to put samples on each one. And I'm like, don't worry, that's not going to be a problem, doc. So that was my Friday. That was the beginning of my weekend, but it got much better because yesterday I spent some time with family celebrating, my cousin's soon-to-be stepson's graduation. He's a cool dude. I gave him a really good look. I gave him advice that people aren't going to give him. And this is the problem. I got this advice a long time ago from my uncles. My uncle's been in and out of jail. I think he told me this advice young because he didn't know how long he was going to be out, right? And he wanted, I better tell you now. I don't know how long before I go back in. So he told me, he said, there are good girls and there are not so good girls. Once you find out who they are, treat them the way they want to be treated. So this was the precursor to you can't make a hoe a housewife. So because this was, I was like 14. So I gave that advice. I've given that advice to every single one of my younger cousins. Every single one. And also that the big girls do more stuff. So run with it. Take it for what you will. On a football note, interesting things have been happening in the Raider world. Total health updates done. We're done with that. All right. I don't know if you guys have heard this or you read it or whatever, but Warren Sapp is hating on Cap. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's really strange. It's really weird. I don't know really what to make of it. So I pulled up the video just so you guys can listen to it on yourself. I have an opinion on it, and we'll just go from there. It's from the same interview that we played last week about Sapp talking about John Gruden. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right. So I was baited in by this. I think it was just Warren Sapp being funny because he's not saying given firsthand information. He's saying he heard the workout was a disaster. He's not saying, oh, the workout was a disaster. If you're going to repeat something like that, if you're going to repeat something that's going to negatively affect somebody's ability to do something that they want to do, whatever it be, the person that you're telling, the secondhand information you're getting, you better really, really trust that source. A, or B, you want to get some attention. It seems like Warren Sapp is looking for attention. Why do I say that? He seems to be taking the exact opposite stance as the majority of people out there regarding a couple of pretty, hot button issues, especially, with the Raiders and with the NFL. He went against all, popular knowledge and thought on John Gruden, as far as he's not he's not racist, and that I'm not going to get into who has big lips and who has big ears and all this stuff. I'm not going to get into that, but it just wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. It's not a good look for Warren Sapp. If this is indeed what he's doing, and I kind of tend to believe so, it seems like he's trying to get some more attention and get himself in the news, which he's doing. He's getting himself out there. He's getting himself talked about. The problem is do you want to get that kind of attention on yourself? Like, what's your goal here? If your goal is to get views and likes and follows and maybe start your own, like, if I would assume, like, if Warren Sapp wanted to, if he's not already on a podcast, that's a really good way to get yourself out there, because you did work on network TV before. You did work on, ESPN NFL coverage before. You did work on that type of stuff. So if you want to get back into that, I don't know if this is the right way to do it, to be kind of a contrarian, to go against the popular belief and just kind of be that guy. You're going to end up being fucking Florio fuckface. You're going to end up being that guy. And who wants to be that guy? So Cap's camp shot back. They clapped back. And Cap's agent, Jeff Nally, commented this. He said, I guess Warren didn't talk to the general manager or the head coach. I spoke to the GM, Dave Ziegler, several times, and he said they all thought Cap was in great shape and threw the ball really well, and encouraged any team to call him about the workout, and he would tell them the same. Okay. I'm surprised Warren would say that, because it's not true, and you would think he would want Cap on a team. Yeah, it's strange. It goes against everything that we've heard. But at the end of that clip, they were going to get into a little bit something else about a different player, Josh Norman. Josh Norman said, who's also a lightning rod, he also says a lot of controversial stuff. Josh Norman said, how are you going to sue a company and then want to work for that company again, which is the NFL? That's a little bit strange, I know, but he wants to play. He's been trying to play. The only reason he's sued is because he wanted to fucking play. So that's just a lot of, I do find it weird. Now, again, just like the last video that Warren Sapp had about John Gruden, I'm not going to get into what was said, but he did make a point. And this video as well, this clip, he also did make a point. There is no footage any fucking where of this Cap workout. Why is that? Who knows? Normally these workouts aren't like fully broadcasted, like, oh, wow, yeah, tune in at 7 p.m. for the fucking workout, right? But there's some footage, there's some video, there's like, either coach's footage, either cell phone footage, something. But there's nothing. Nothing's been leaked out. We haven't really seen anything. So, if anything has been leaked out, it's been like, Cap throwing a pass, and you don't even see where the pass is completed or dropped, or whether he's throwing it to nothing, or trying to hit a cone, or hit a trash can, or I don't know what. But it is kind of strange. I will say that. No footage being released whatsoever. And it could be the Raiders doing, their due diligence and saying, everybody, your phone's off, put your phones in the pile or whatever, get in there, and, no leaking, no this, no that. Who knows? Honestly, I just don't see why it would benefit the Raiders to pump up a Kaepernick workout when he's just a super duper fucking long shot to make the Raiders team. The main reasons are Derek Carr is your unquestioned number one. He is your leader of your team. He is your quarterback. He's your starting quarterback and your backup quarterback. He's the guy. Okay, there's that. Josh McDaniels has never really had a crazy strong backup. Don't give me this Matt Castle bullshit. He went to the fucking Chiefs and shit the bed. Okay, he wasn't that good. It was a great team. He did well. He won 10 games, but and he's a USC guy. I'm not going to shit on the guy, but he wasn't as good as a 10-win. It was a very good team. Jimmy Garoppolo was a little bit too good, and Tom Brady got to be shipped out. So he just needs a guy that can run the offense. He needs a guy that can just step in and run the offense. He really likes Jarrett Stidham. So he's the unquestioned number two. If Cap is going to come in and be make the Raiders, Cap is going to have to be so far above and beyond the backups that the Raiders already have. Like, he has to walk in basically having the backup job, because you're not going to have that kind of scrutiny by not only the media, but a certain sector of your fan base for him to come in and be like your number 4 camp arm guy. It's not going to happen, which is a shame because he can't get on the field and show what he can do in a game scenario. But you know what? It is what it is. This is not that topic for the day. So I don't believe Sapp was hating on Cap. He made it very clear that he was just repeating something that he had heard. But again, it is pretty irresponsible to do something like that, considering the ramifications and repercussions of your words potentially on somebody trying to make a comeback in the NFL. Let's go to some of your comments here. Let's see what you guys got. Rainer Wolf, he's got a sad face, probably talking, listening to me and my crap story. No audio. Well, I think I got audio. What do you guys think? I think my audio is pretty good. Can't hear anything. Can't hear it. There's no sound, but don't worry about the video. I've seen it like 5 times. Oh, there's no audio on the video. Damn. Oh, well. Go look up, what's his fucking name? Dov Kleiman. Dovkleiman. So basically, Warren Sapp said that there was a disaster, and how come there's no footage? And it's really weird. That's really what he said. So apologize for it. I had a little technical difficulty. My bad. All right, moving on. It's Q&A time because there's not a lot going on right now. There's a little bit of a dust up going on, like, the Raiders enabled a toxic environment, blah blah blah. Look, man, I read the most of the stuff that I read about the quote unquote toxic environment is just an environment that you would see in any corporation. People trying to position and maneuver themselves to be in a better light. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's just what it is. And don't try to throw something on a team and just pile on just to kind of like, oh, well, this is happening in Washington. And, this is what happened to me. And I feel it's really unfair. This whole concept of fair, like, when you're an adult, just get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over the concept of fair. Because shit just ain't fair. Because sometimes people are just sneakier than you, or people are just better at playing the game than you. It just happens that way sometimes. If you want things to be fair, be sneakier and be better at playing the game. It's just what it is. You're not going to stop people from trying to get the upper hand on you. It's just not going to happen. All right. RJ's been getting a little bit of love. I know I shit on RJ a lot, so I want to make sure that we also do the opposite, right? I want to make sure that we also give the other side. So Callie Georgie wrote this. RJ is getting tougher and tougher to tolerate. His take on shows, Sue's topic, and continuously accusing Soto of hating Carr. It's getting annoying. Much love to Soto, mostly why I still continue to, and it cuts off. He said to continue to support. First off, I want to say thank you. God damn it, thank you. Callie Georgie, or Callie George with 2 E's. And if you think RJ is getting harder to tolerate, imagine how I feel having to work with that dude. So we're heading into the season, right? We're heading into the season, and there's a lot of similarities to the 2022 season as opposed to the 2017 season. Coming off of a playoff appearance, one and done the year before, pretty decent roster from all accounts. New offensive coordinator, new offense, right? So Alex Fitzgerald said this. Del Rio getting rid of Musgrave and keeping Norton as defensive coordinator in 2017 doomed that team. All the other problems that year followed from these moves. The Raiders are in good shape next year with cap space, and let's see the rest of it. With cap space, and the rest of it is they have to set things up well to adjust each year. Yes, they have to have a very good rushing team for that Patriot offense to shine. I think it will. I think they signed Sue closer to training camp. I'm kind of tired of talking about Ndamukong Suh, but this was something that I had talked about regarding Josh McDaniels' offense. Because RJ's like, oh, we can protect the offensive line, but we just do play action. And it's like, wait a second. If you're running play action, but you can't run the ball, it's not gonna fucking work. You got to be able to run the ball to run play action. You have to be able to run the ball to run screens. Like you have to be able to dictate a little bit of how the defense reacts to you. So I hope that they're a better running team next year. I think that we are a little bit better equipped to adjust to the personnel that we have. I just don't see why we can just go out there and say, "Oh yeah, they're going to be a better running team." I think they'll be ready. Like why? It's basically there's no, the bulk of the offensive line is the same. Is the coaching going to be that much better? Hopefully. Are the players going to take a step forward because they're younger? Yeah, hopefully. But goddamn, they weren't very good run blocking last year. Let's get to some of your comments real quick before we move on. Let's see. Keegan Jones, $100 bet for car winning MVP would pay out around $4K. It's very tempting. What do you think? If you got the 100 sitting there and it's burning a hole in your pocket, I say go for it, man. 40-1, might as well. I mean, are you gonna miss the $100? Like, is your baby not gonna eat? Is a utility gonna get turned off because you don't have that $100? I mean, it's a long-term bet. So I say, why not, man? $100 for 4,000. Stranger things have happened. Jesse Cardenas, it's just $100. Fuck it. I mean, might as well. Like I said, it's $100. $100 to me now at 44 is a whole lot different than $100 to me at like 24. $100 at 24 was the difference between me being able to eat and me trying to impress a bitch. And I just say the word bitch because I don't want to say all their names individually. Because, geez, now $100. I'm not balling or anything like that, but like $100 bet. It's basically it's like a savings account. You're buying a stock for valued at $100, and if it's an X or Y, if X happens, you get that $4,000 return. If Y happens, you get shit. So we'll see. FG writes, I don't know what the hell that is. Something briefcase 100. I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah, Jesse. Mo money. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys. So that brings me to my next topic, which is Alex Leatherwood. Man, I try not to talk about Alex Leatherwood because I try to keep my blood pressure under control. There's a couple things that I know by looking at. And we had a guest on our show. I'm not going to name him because I don't want to feel like I'm talking shit on him. We had a guest on our show, and he was telling me how smooth and how clean his footwork was. And he's, one of the best players on the team for a national champion team. And, his versatility, guard and tackle, this and that, and blah, 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 this, blah, blah, all that shit. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a reason why a lot of people didn't see Alex Leatherwood as being a first-round pick, especially when Kristen Darrisaw was right there. Okay. We took him. I was like, I don't like the pick from the very beginning. I don't like the pick. I started watching some tape, and he was just a big old grizzly bear, man. He was just physically dominating the player in front of him. Unfortunately, these guys in the NFL, you're not going to be able to physically dominate like that. Even though college football is the closest thing that you can get. Let me rewind that. Not just college football, but the SEC week in and week out is the closest thing you're going to find to the NFL. There's still a ton of players that don't get drafted because they're just not good enough out of the SEC. So you're not going to be able to physically dominate these guys the way you did in college in the pros. Okay. Cut to the season. And Jesus Christ. That was a very, very bad performance by Alex Leatherwood in the first game. From the very first play, I saw him just reach forward and like push his arms out, and like his balance, his timing was bad. I don't know, man. I saw that and I said, oh boy. Roll tape, man. Go back to the post-game show. And then the post-game show, we were pumped because they won. But go up to the weekly show following the post-game show. And I was not happy with Alex Leatherwood's performance because Jesus Christ, man, there's a lot to clean up there. And the problem that I saw was it's not like he didn't get good coaching at Alabama. He didn't get hard coaching at Alabama. He got good, tough, hard coaching at Alabama because we've seen a lot of Alabama offensive linemen do well in the NFL. So I just don't buy that he didn't do well in his rookie season and he got kicked into guard because he had poor coaching, because that was it. I don't see Tom Cable being that poor of an offensive line coach. I just think that he just has some mechanical issues and maybe a mental block that's causing him to just make the same mistakes over and over again. Maybe he's not studying enough. Maybe he doesn't know how to study properly. Maybe he's not translating the study onto the field. Who knows? But he's got to figure it out, because this new regime is not going to have the type of patience that a lot of people think. And this is what people think. ZB writes, Leatherwood will be a starter at right tackle this season. They'll give him the time to figure it out. He'll have help out there too, including quick passes to the top three. So if you have a team that you're building to win now, right? Because you don't trade a first and second round pick for Devonta Adams. You don't sign Chandler Jones. You don't sign all the DBs that you signed. You don't extend all these players like Max and Carr and Renfro, and looking to extend Perryman, and Waller's in the wings ready to get extended. You don't do that if you don't want to win now, okay? If you don't think that you're going to have a chance of winning right away. Sticking with them to figure it out, that's not what you want to do, especially when your team revolves around how well your quarterback plays. I'm not comfortable as much as this bullshit that you guys want to say about Carr being mobile. Look, you're either a mobile quarterback or you're not a more mobile quarterback. You can be shifty in the pocket. I don't think he's that mobile as people are saying. You're going to get his head fucking taken off if you have Alex Leatherwood playing the way he did last year, or even a little bit better than he played last year, because he was by far the worst rated right tackle and right guard last year. Okay, so even if he improves a little bit, he's still going to be pretty bad. I wouldn't trust it putting him out there and endangering your season by getting Derek Carr basically decapitated on a week-to-week basis. The thing is I'm saying this. Here's my logic, and here's what I know of sports. Here's what I know of progression of teams, of coaching, of getting people to perform better. Very rarely is it a light switch. It's more of a dimmer, right? Very rarely is it somebody in the dark as Leatherwood looked at times last season, and you just flick on. You say a certain thing, or you show him a certain technique, or you show him a video, or you whatever. You work with him, and then pop, the light switch pops on, and he just gets it. Very rarely does that happen. Normally, it's you just dim, and you turn the light up slowly. The issue is when you're turning the light up slowly, that's still getting your quarterback killed back there. That's still getting your running game not getting the push that it needs. Okay. What I hear from people is, I just think it's going to be Leatherwood because it was the coaching. They didn't have like some dude that worked construction come off the street and coach the offensive line for the Raiders last year. We're talking about Tom Cable, who's been an offensive line coach at multiple teams. He's been a head coach in the past. He had, the first non-losing season in I don't know how long was Tom Cable's 8-8 year. So he's not a slapdick. He knows what he's doing. Again, and then Leatherwood comes from Alabama, who have top flight coaches, the best coaching you can find, the best facilities you can find. Like, he didn't lack for resources to be better and to get better. So to say that he's going to be fine or he's going to be good, and that's like flipping the switch. That just rarely happens, man. And staying on that subject, friend of the program, friend of yours and mine, Jeff Garrison writes, Leatherwood is a stud. Now that he's had an offseason to hone his craft, he'll be more technically sound, quicker, stronger, more confident, and has been more focused and determined to be the best right tackle for the Raiders that he can be. And the fact that he finally has a really, really good O-line coach, and he is proving that he is a dominant right tackle for the Raiders. I mean, I hope so, but the thing is you have to look at the facts here. You have to face facts. Look at Jonathan Abrams' pass coverage 2 years ago to last year. That was by far the biggest hole in his game. And it didn't get much better. It got a little bit better. It didn't get much better. Leatherwood's pass protection was really, really bad. And I'm not speaking out of turn here. Just put some tape on and you'll see how bad his pass protection was. Can he get better? Of course he can get better. But what you guys are asking for here when you're saying he's going to be a stud, he's going to be this, he's going to be that, is you're looking for such a huge jump. I don't know that you can give him the starting job and not let him work out kinks here and there throughout the game, because you're going to get, or in practice, because, I mean, we want to win now, and there's a very valuable asset behind him that he's going to get hurt. One more thing. ZB again writes, just some long ass fucking, you guys need to learn how to be more concise, dude. This is crazy. Let's see here. Chance. Okay, there's the rest of it. I'd be surprised if the regime will sign a right tackle versus putting Leatherwood out there, especially given philosophy, play calling, resource management. Setting Sue, I'm saying there's a chance. Okay, the rest of it's about something else. Okay. Like I said last week, we're not in this regime of a regime of the past where we're looking at who are the best guys that we have. These are the best guys we have in the room. That's just not going to cut it anymore. Not if you want to win. And I'll explain. There's a big difference between the best guys that we have and the best guys that are out there, or the guys that are going to cut the mustard, basically. Honestly, you don't want to think these are the best guys we have because you're looking at a very small pool. You have to know what you're looking for before. You have to have a template of something that you want and then go out and get it. If you have it in-house, perfect. If you don't, you have to get it because you know, as a coach, as a GM, as a scout, as a talent evaluator, as all this stuff, you know what you're looking for out of a position. And just because these players are the best ones you have in-house doesn't mean they're going to be able to give you what you need at that position. Is Leatherwood going to be able to make it happen? I don't know. I have my serious doubts. Okay. If you're going to come into the league and you're going to be the worst rated right tackle and right guard in the NFL, you're definitely not worth a first round pick, nor a second, nor a third. You should be an undrafted free agent to a late round pick. That's how he played. There is no tie between Alex Leatherwood and the new regime. They don't have to play a dude just because they drafted him there because there's no egg on their face, right? If they don't play him. And to the contrary, if they find somebody out to go out there that plays decent, that plays better than Leatherwood did last year, and they put Leatherwood on the bench, that sends a message to the rest of the team. We don't care where you were drafted. We don't care how much money you make. If you can't get it done on the field, you will not play, period. I think that's a better message to send. Hopefully, Leatherwood turns it around and makes it happen. I want him to because he's already in-house. We're already paying the fucker. Might as well put him out there if he's good enough. But don't put him out there to get better as he goes. That's like starting to date a chick and then trying to fix her. Well, if she just works out a little bit, or if she just does this, or she just does that, or whatever, gets a BBL or whatever, right? Then she'll be a lot better. Like, no, dude, you want to date that finished product, and then you want to expect her to continue to better herself in different ways, not just physically. But you don't start dating a crazy chick hoping that she's going to be less crazy in the future. That's the same thing with a football player. You don't want to put him out there and say, oh, well, he's going to learn on the job. You do that when you're like the Jets, or you're the Jags, or you're the Texans, right? You do that when you're those teams. When you're like a contender to go to the playoffs or to win a Super Bowl, and you're in a really tough division, you don't have the opportunity to have a single player hurt your game plan offensively because he can't do his job. Have him learn on the practice field, man. He has to learn that stuff. He has to show you that he can do it on the practice field. Put him in, ease him into the lineup, and if he's doing better, if he's getting it done, then you can put him in. But don't have him learn out there because those games still have something to prove. Those games still count. Let's see what you guys think. Jesse, those 14 games were a big test for him as a rookie coming in. Hopefully, he's somebody that bounces back from that ass beating. I've already talked about it, man. Hopefully he does. I don't know, but dude, it just doesn't look great. You have to find the right guard that can help Leatherwood, and I think it's Denzel Good. Look, man, defenses are smart. They're going to be able to find a way to isolate Alex Leatherwood, which is what they did early last year. They found they ran a lot of stunts inside to occupy the center and guard and left Leatherwood out there on an island, bro. That's when like the Chargers, they rushed Fackrell and Bosa on the same side, like Bliss on the same side every single play, because they knew that would isolate Alex Leatherwood one-on-one, and he didn't do well. So the thing we have to realize is you can't go from god awful to just bad and be okay to start. You have to be a starter in the NFL, has to be a good football player. I'm not saying that Alex Leatherwood is not a good football player. I'm like, he's not playing very well, is what I'm saying. You can't get him to improve to just be serviceable, because last year he was not. You can't expect to have that happen when you have $120-something million quarterback behind you. Not going to happen. Keegan Jones, I would love to know how McDaniels has done in the past to scheme around a bad offensive line. There is no way this coaching staff doesn't see what's in front of them, but is there any proof he can? Keegan Jones, I will answer you this way. He coaches around a bad offensive line by not having a bad offensive line. Like I said, he's not going to put people out there that can't do the job. If he puts you out there, that means you can do the job. If you have a shitty offensive line or a shitty player on the offense, I'm not calling Alex Leatherwood shit. I'm saying if you do have a shitty player on the offensive line, you're not going to fucking play. You're going to get other guys to come in off the street, and you're going to find guys that are better. Okay, I think we're resigned to the fact that, oh, well, you know, how many offensive linemen do we have on the team? Like 17, 18 offensive linemen? Trust me, we're not going to have roll people out there that can't do the job. We're just not going to do it. Steve the Cockfighter. Soto, you got to pay attention to RJ more. Leatherwood and every other young Raider player is going to continue to get better every year. That's how it works, right? Yeah, maybe. I hope so. Not really. We'll get like Corey Littleton. Corey Littleton was a stud when he had the best player in the NFL, not just defensively, but the best player in the NFL playing in front of him. He had Ndamukong Suh and he had Aaron Donald playing in front of him. That's why he balled out. And I said that from the very beginning. RJ's like, I was doing cartwheels down the hallway. First off, RJ can't do a fucking cartwheel. You know, if there was a $5 bill on the ground for him to reach down and pick it up. Okay? He's not going to be able to do a cartwheel, number one. He was very excited. I didn't feel – I wanted to see more because I was very skeptical. The first thing I asked was, okay, well, who's on our interior defensive line who's been able to take up all those plays and eat up all that space to help Littleton run free? It just wasn't that. We expected more out of Corey Littleton. He didn't perform. Players don't always get better every single year. Jesse laughing. Yep, it's true. It's damn true. Because, God damn it, look, I get called a hater a lot. And the problem is, people think I'm a hater because I'm spitting facts. If you don't like the facts, then argue the facts. Hate the player, not the game. Or the opposite. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Because I'm the one that's telling you the truth. I'm not going to be that guy that comes on a radio show and because I'm a Philly fan, I'm going to say that Jalen Hurts is the next Michael Vick. I'm not going to say that shit because I sound fucking stupid, okay? If I say something, it's because I truly believe it, and I'm going to tell you why. You tell me Alex Leatherwood's going to be so much better this year. Why? What about his play, even though he got better at the end of the year, he still wasn't all that good, okay? And then Colton Miller himself, we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Colton Miller himself said that the scheme is new, the calls are new, we got to learn new things. So you're telling me that whole year is going to be kind of pushed aside of learning for Alex Leatherwood because his calls are different, the plays are different, the assignments are different. It's like a whole new thing for him. Now, it could be good because you're stripping away all the old shit and you're building up from something that's kind of clean. But we're going to see. I'm not saying Alex Leatherwood is going to be good or is not going to be good. And it's not me waffling. I'm saying that unless he's going to be the guy, he's not going to play. He's not going to learn on the job when you have a team that is a playoff contender, who made the playoffs last year, and who sunk so much capital and so much resource into making this team better right now. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys. That's all the time I have here. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I want to make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button. Training camp's coming up soon. I know this is like the May and June, like the post draft, like once the draft buzz wears off, and like OTAs, there's like usually some buzz here and there from OTAs. But until training camp starts, it's going to be pretty slow going. That's why your guys' interaction means so much more. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you guys are making your voices heard. Anything that you like out of my video, I'm going to post a link in the video just so you guys can look at it yourself of the Warren Sapp video talking about Colin Kaepernick. Just because I want to make sure that you guys get some context on that. But I want to make sure that everyone knows how much I appreciate you guys, RJ and I both. And make sure you guys have a great West U weekend. Kill it this week with whatever you do. And we'll see you next week.